Hi, I'm Robert Cowan from Square Systems, and I'm going to show you how the new Network Organizer module from our free Visio add-in can help you quickly and easily lay out network topology diagrams. This will help you lay out diagrams in minutes that might otherwise take hours, especially if you need to modify the layout as the network changes. This is a topology diagram showing connectivity between several network devices. Good diagramming practice has been followed, with configuration data embedded for shapes, such as this switch, and also connectors, such as this one here. The layout of this diagram was done manually, spreading the connectors out evenly across the shapes. To keep the layout consistent, if we add or delete connections, then we have to respace out the connections to preserve the layout. So here we have 3 connectors between this pair, and here we have 4, and they are spaced differently. If we move the shapes, then we can see that they aren't necessarily all connected properly, and the reason for that is that it is time-consuming and difficult to do this manually. The port labels here on the connections have been done with a data graphic, and that works fine for the vertical connections, but it doesn't work so well for the horizontal ones. Con and 0, 1, which one of those is at which end? It's not obvious. Our Visio utility will make creating and maintaining the diagram layout much easier and quicker. Here we can see a layout among core switches with all the ports consistently named and spaced out like the previous diagram. If we move shapes around, we can see that the connections follow the shapes. Even if we resize the shapes, then we can see that the connections are spaced appropriately. If we don't want to see the labels, we right-click and hide all ports. And we right-click again to turn them back on. Let's see the detailed steps to create this diagram. We start with a set of core switches with multiple connections between each switch. We can see they're connected because if we drag this, the connections move appropriately. So they're using dynamic connectors, but what we can't see is how many times those switches are connected because Visio puts the connectors one on top of each other. If I move them away, then I can see that in this case there are actually 2 connections between these 2 switches. So let's position the shapes and then select all of them and then use the SMS Utils Layout Connections option, and that has automatically laid out all of the connections in parallel lines on the appropriate side for each shape. If we want to relay out the shape, for example, we can take this shape here, move it across, then we select the 2 shapes to be relayed out, do the layout again, and we can see that the connections have been relayed out and shifted from the left side to the right, as appropriate. Let's look at a couple more diagrams. In this power topology example, it shows power and how it's distributed within a data center from PDUs to power strips and ultimately to Unix servers. Where we have shared components like PDUs and power strips, there are even more connections potentially to space out. This type of network diagram is very common. It shows all servers patched into a switch, or it could be a patch panel. Like this, it is very easy to see the ports in use at each end, and it only took a few minutes to lay out. All the example diagrams you've seen with the embedded shape data on devices and ports have been generated using AssetGen's Connect system, which will create and update the shape data automatically for you, as well as adding in additional shapes and links as networks change. So I have demonstrated how easy it is with the free Square Systems Visio add-in to create and maintain network diagrams. If you use the AssetGen Connect system, then you get the advantage of automated updates. What might take hours to do manually can be done in a few minutes. For more details about the add-in and how to download it, please see the link shown here, which is also contained in the comments for this video. If you want to increase your skills further, then look at our Visio training course materials on the website, aimed specifically at the needs of IT professionals. Thank you.